Hey there YouTube. Today I'm going to show you how to go about changing one of your home ceiling lights. It might be easier than you think, and we're going to use this light right here. Okay, so this is a ceiling light. You can replace this light with any ceiling light in your home probably. And it's pretty straightforward to install, as you'll see. As you can see here, the brand name is Artica. Now this manufacturer prints that this light is rated for 50,000 hours. It outputs 1800 lumens, and they say it's dimmable too. Now if you can't tell yet, this is an LED light, okay? So see, it says right here on the bottom, LED. Star Raker is the model name of this light, and as you can see there, it has the Energy Star rating. Okay, let's take a look at some other parts of this box. And we have some information on the back of the box here. The color is 3000K, or temperature rather. So that means this light is not going to be too white, nor is it going to be too yellow. And when I say yellow, I'm really talking about that temperature that you get from tungsten bulbs. And some neon lights or fluorescent lights can be too white. For me, it's just not comfortable. So this temperature, I'm pretty good with. I like this one. And if you still don't understand what I'm talking about, there's a little pictorial right here which shows you exactly where this light will stand on this little color map here. The power draw is going to be 25 watts with this light. Not bad, not fantastic either, but if you're old enough to remember those old 60 watt tungsten bulbs, I'm sure some of you still have some laying around your house, maybe. Well, it draws a lot less power than that, which means a lot less money. So, just how big is this light? Well, it reads 32.6 centimeters in diameter, which is just over a foot. So if you were worried that this light was going to look too much like a pot light, don't worry. The outer part of this light fixture is partially made of glass. The other part is plastic. That's the part that holds the LEDs, and it's pretty light, which is a good thing when it comes to installing. And just to reiterate, they say that this light is rated for 50,000 hours of usage, and it's dimmable, but with most LED dimmers. So I should mention that we got this light from Costco. Right? Everybody knows Costco. So if you find this product interesting, you know where you can go to get it. Other than that, I guess you can take a look on Amazon, see if they have other products too, this brand. But today we're just doing the light. So check this out. Take these out of here. This is just packaging. So of course the barrettes, you gotta need them. Just, you know, it's junk. This is the outer cover, which is apparently made partially with glass, right? So yeah, that's how it's gonna look when it's hanging down from your ceiling. And this is the lights itself. You can see the LEDs are all in a circle, and you turn it over, you got one ground wire too. So it's only two wires. You know how some fixtures that carry more than one light bulb, they have like two light bulbs, and then they have like 4 wires hanging out, so it just makes working with the barrettes a little harder. So I like this for that reason. And these are just basically the locks to lock on this part. Okay, I'll give you another look at that here, and then we'll go install it. All right. So if there's anything you do happen to take away from this video, please let it be that before you work on any electrical device in your house, disconnect the electricity to that fixture. In other words, find the breaker panel and cut the breaker out. Also turn off the switch. Do both. Use some tape to hold the switch down in the off position. It's a good visual sign to others that they should not be using this switch. It's better to be extra safe than be sorry. right? Okay, so now here I am taking apart this lighting fixture here. As you can see, it had two LED bulbs already. So there's a bolt sticking out of the middle of the fixture with a nut around it. I'm just gonna loosen the nut, unthread it, and the whole fixture is gonna come down. You might be asking yourself, well, why is this guy using pliers to take a nut off a bolt? Well, because it was the closest tool to me at the time. And I'm gonna be careful enough to not strip the bolt. But the proper way to do this would be to get yourself the proper socket and ratchet and make your life a little easier. And as I pull this fixture down, you can see that there are two black wires and two white wires coming from the fixture, which makes sense because there are two bulbs. Both bulbs have to get wired up. Now the two black wires from the fixture are connected to one red wire coming out of my ceiling. Not what I had expected to see. But here, I found another black wire terminated with a twist connector that was just sitting in the light box. I'm not sure why that is, but as I connect the new fixture, I'm just gonna follow the same wiring setup, and then I'll have to seek answers later as to what is going on here. So, as you can see, that bolt that was sticking out through the center of the light fixture is screwed in to a metal plate, and that metal plate is screwed in to the light box. And that is how the light fixture that I just removed was fixed to the ceiling. It's actually fixed to the light box. So moving on, to remove the twist connectors from the wire, all you have to do is turn them, twist them counterclockwise. And just as another reminder, there is no electricity to this circuit because we cut out the circuit from the breaker panel. I just want to emphasize that a little more because it's just that important. So I have successfully detached the two white wires from the light fixture from the two white wires from the ceiling or the light box. And the two black wires from the light fixture have been successfully detached from the mysterious red wire from the light box. All that there's left to do is to detach this ground wire, which is pretty straightforward to do because it's only being secured by one little screw. I have two screws here that came with the product. There are two threaded holes on either side of this plate. I'm going to screw these two bolts into those holes. Those are going to be the bolts I use to secure this light fixture to the light box. I started these two bolts by hand, and I'm going to finish screwing them in using my drill. If you're going to choose to use your own drill, and you don't use drills often, be very careful, go very slow. This is not the kind of situation you want to be using your drill at high speed or high torque. I'm not going to set the screw all the way in either. I'm going to screw them in until there is about 1.5 centimeters or about maybe 3/4 of an inch of the bolt left, or 1/2 inch, maybe 1/2 inch hanging out. Yeah, and you'll see why I do that later on in the video. I'm going to unscrew this bolt and discard it. We don't need it. Had my new fixture had a hole in the center, then maybe I would consider it, but we don't, so off to the garbage it goes. And now it's time for the fun part. It's time to connect our wires. This is what makes the magic happen, right? Okay, so I'm gonna connect the black wire to the red wire, which is unusual, but that's how the old one was wired up, so that's how I'm going to wire this one up. And the white wire is going to get connected to the next two wires. To connect these wires, I'm simply going to twist together the exposed parts of each wire. If you are trying to connect some wires yourself and you don't have a wire with an exposed end, then you simply got to get some wire cutters. That would be the proper way. Get yourself some good wire cutters and strip off about 1.5 centimeters of insulation on each wire. Twist them together, then twist on your wire connectors. A good idea would be to twist your wire connectors on in the same direction that you twisted the wires. And just to be super duper clear about the connection, because it is the most important part of this installation, I connected the one white wire from the light to the two white wires coming down from the light box in the ceiling. The final step in connecting the wires together is going to be connecting the ground wire. We can connect this ground wire to the light box because the light box is metal. If your light box isn't metal, then you need to make sure you do a direct connection to the ground wire that's coming out from the light box. In this situation, the ground wire is already connected to the light box on the house side. So I will connect the ground wire from this light fixture to the light box, and then we'll accomplish continuity for the ground circuit. Alright, well that pretty much does it for the wiring part. Now it's time for my favorite part, pushing the wires into the light box and mounting this base to the ceiling. And when you are pushing the wires into the light box, make sure you take extra care to make sure the twist connectors don't pop off. If they do, you gotta pull them out and install them again. Maybe this time, do a few more twists. There, this is how the wiring should look when you're all done with it. So remember those 2 bolts I left halfway threaded into the plate? Alright, well there's only 2 holes in the base of this light for those bolts to go through, so we're going to put them right through those holes and twist the plate. Again, you don't need to use a drill is overkill. You should use a screwdriver, but I know what I'm doing and I want to get this done quick, so I'm using my drill. Here's a closer look of the light after we installed it. You can see the holes where I put the bolts through and where the plate ends up after I twisted it and secured it. You can see all the LEDs. It's pretty simple, really. One more step. Make sure these tabs are in the unlocked position. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, just look at these plastic tabs and make sure they're not in a position that's going to prevent you from putting the cover on. Once you have the cover on, you can now push those tabs back the other way, which should secure the cover to the base. There we go, nice and sturdy. Here's another angle of the installation so you can see how flush the base is to the ceiling. And that's pretty much it. Now I know it might seem pretty self-explanatory, but I'm just going to demonstrate how to remove the cover once you finish installing it. Essentially, you're just pulling out the tabs that you pushed in. There's 3 tabs. Make sure you're supporting the cover with your hand when you pull out the last tab. Otherwise, this thing is going to fall to the ground. And just like that, your cover's off. You see how easy it is? Alright, and the final step is, of course, turn on the power. Well, sorry, go downstairs, restore the breaker into the on position, come back to the light, turn on the switch, and see how it works. Looks good to me. This installation is now complete. Yeah! I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you learned something, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop new videos. And don't forget to like and share. Thank you. Dig, 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 dig.